So the conversation continues, New York, so please do not move your dial. Let me just remind you, though, that this segment is brought to you by, of course, our friends at NuSpecies. And if you have a health situation, give them a call today at 888-548-3150. Get on those affordable starter packages. They're available right now when you call 888-548-3150. 888-548-3150. Aston!
Detroit Basin, the brief catalog of where we have been, where we're coming from, where we still are in the center of the storm, being tossed around right now, right here, right now.
Right.
I think it's fair for me to say, based on all that, going back over 2,000 years, Detroit, I think it's fair for me to say that, also considering that the natural resources and other resources of our ancestors were taken to build great cities around the world. All those great cities around the world, if we had all our resources, that would have been our cities. If we had all those resources, and I'm not crying over spilled milk, but the point I'm making here is that considering what we have been through and what we still go through, I think it's fair to say no people have endured what we have endured. I have not studied all history, but I don't know of any people who have endured what we have endured and still enduring. And yet we still fight on, even through all of that. Up to now, slavery up to now. And thanks to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and so many others who fought for civil rights, fought for rights, fought for moral ethics, and a lot of people listen. A lot of white folks listen. A lot of white folks join in, and we should not forget that. But either way, our journey is not over. The long, hard journey is not over. There's still much work to be done. And we must never give up. Like, this is how our ancestors never gave up. We should never give up. We should keep pushing on. And today we must now fight on, Detroit, because there are a large number of deadly diseases that are killing off young people, killing people young, especially our people. A large, long list of deadly diseases that are killing us off. And those young men and women listening, they need to know this. They need to know that we must fight another battle, even though the old one is not done, it's not won completely, but great progress has been made. We must fight off bad health, and we must fight off these diseases that take our lives prematurely. We must fight for longer life, people, long enough to educate our children and our grandchildren about the truth that we're never told by the schools and those others who consider themselves the best among us, who have not told the whole truth or told the truth at all. But together, still, Detroit, we must fight. And right now, we must fight prostate diseases that lead to the castration of men and other cancers like prostate cancer, testicular cancers. And yes, the people, we must fight fibroids and anemia and dense breast and all these other menstrual diseases causing cancers in women, especially black women who die more than any other group from these menstrual diseases, especially black men who died more from prostate diseases than any other group of men on the planet. On the planet. Same thing for black women on the planet. They die more from menstrual diseases, fibroids, causing diseases, anemia, causing diseases, dense breast, causing diseases like cancer. We must fight diabetes, people. and high blood pressure and heart disease, the number one killer of humans, but especially for us, we die more than any other people. So the fight is not over. We must fight on. We must never give up, DJ Roy. We can never give up because it's killing too many of us prematurely. And it's not just killing us. We suffer for years before we die in some cases. So it's a brutal death. It's a brutal death. If the medical system does not work for us, we must never forget that it is not our medical system. But gladly, we should accept what's trickled down to us, the little, but we're chosen to endure, and so we're blessed. And that's why we must continue to invent and create like our ancestors. Inventing, creating out of nothing is our birthright. It's one of the legacies, DJ Roy, our ancestors have bestowed on us to invent and to create out of nothing. And if we have to do that for our medical health, we should do so. But yes, the medications were not made for us. But we know that God is willing to grant us what we ask for. He alone preserved us through all this painful storm going back over 2,000 years. So that is the call to action, DJ Roy, to fight these deadly diseases together. Your thoughts, sir?
We need more time. That's for sure. Boy, I don't know where to start, Aston, so I'm just going to say that please download the NuSpecies app.
That's a good start.
Please download
That's a great start.
the NuSpecies app, all right? We've been having conversation like this now for almost a year and a half. And I think it started when we needed to have these conversations. I think, my mother always said, not before it's time. But during COVID, when we had that captive audience, Aston, during COVID, when we had this uncertainty about what was going on, what life would be like, even in 2023, we were nervous about. Can you imagine being nervous about a few months? We were so nervous about that. So this conversation helped you kind of bring us together and revisit some of the things that we have forgotten, and some of us, even myself, didn't even know us. So we thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. And we have a lot of work to do, DJ Roy. We have a lot of work to do ahead. And I believe that we can use this anchor to help one another with our health, our prostate diseases, our menstrual diseases, the blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, all these issues that the medication doesn't seem to work as well for us. We are going to use this as an anchor to build a better future for our children and grandchildren. And yes, this great country, this great United States, a country that I love, we have to find a way to make it better and to make it stand behind us, not just to help us here, DJ Roy, but to help others in Africa who were stripped of the resources, stripped of their culture, their heritage. They need a lot of help there to rebuild as well, so they can be the people God intended them to be, intended all of us to be.
Again, this is what we do each and every Monday. So we ask you to continue to join us and spread the word and download that NuSpecies app today. Get on those starter packages. They're available and affordable when you call 888-548-3150, 888-548-3150. But download the app today. you.